Hey everyone, just going over quickly, looking at the online stuff. I want to make sure that everybody's kind of getting the right stats and what we're looking for the um, for the work we did yesterday. I have nothing new to teach today. I just want to kind of go over this so you can see how to do it, and then also I want you to start getting ready for the test. I'm gonna hold the test basically on all this regression stuff, working with these things, looking at scatter plots, trying to make relationships identifications from the scatter plots. Are they strong? Are they weak? Are they positive? Are they negative? Then using the regression lines, can we make predictions on stuff? Can we find the correlation between um, some things? I don't expect to have you do any hand calculations on um, the test, at least not in depth like we did yesterday. The last 2 days was what we're working on. I may give you smaller bits of data um, to kind of use the formulas to come up with some information that way. But I'm going to give you most of the numbers either already crunched or in a form where you can look at it and see what's what to kind of make sure and understand what's happening with what it is and kind of going over the whole thing. So we're going to do a lot of review next week. Excuse me, especially if you're a class on Monday and Tuesday as you come in. We'll kind of go over this exercise again um, so you can understand it, what we were doing, what we were trying to show, so that then you understand as we go forward with some of the stuff we're going to be running going forward, where I'm giving you numbers, you kind of understand what it is and the math that's behind those numbers, um, so that it makes a little more sense for you as we go forward with what we're going to be working on after the test this week. But like I said, the test will probably be, or it's definitely going to be um, next Friday and the following Monday. Again, there'll be an online and an in-class portion. So you guys will take the online portion at home next Friday, and then come into class the following Monday of Thanksgiving week and take the written part in class on that day. I will put together some sort of review packet over the weekend that I will pass out on Monday. Um, it'll be cover everything we kind of went over. On Monday too, I'll probably go over like all the notes again, kind of quickly cover all the high points of what we need to be looking at for the test, so that when the test pops up on Friday and Monday, everything's making sense. It's pretty easy to do, and we can kind of blow through it pretty quickly. But getting back to the stuff from yesterday, I looked over a lot of the assignments that have been turned in so far. I think there was a lot of confusion on what I wanted to see on the spreadsheet portion of it. So I want to kind of go over that. I'm going to do an example on data that I pulled from all the data that I collected. Just do a quick example. And then what I'm probably going to use a lot of the data I collected from yesterday, I'm going to use as part of the problems on the tests for the test next week. And then you'll see what the formulas I wanted you to use, what I wanted you to kind of figure out as we went through that, how I wanted the scatter plots to look, just so you can see that, because there'll be some stuff where there'll be data that we'll be working with in the future in the class that I'm going to have you be running through these spreadsheets to kind of get it done that way, where not everybody has calculators to do it through a calculator. I'm going to try to lean a little heavily on the spreadsheet part of it, where I think then there's less data entry issues to them giving you spreadsheets and stuff, so it'll be a little easier to follow. So I have my data here you've been looking at as I've been talking. It selected data from the reaction time test from yesterday with the right-handed and the left-handed response. So we're going to try to sit here and figure out what the correlation is between the two with the data that I have. So what I'm going to look to do first is in column E, I'm going to start in column E. I'm going to start in column D. I'm typing like all the information I was looking for yesterday. We're going to use the formulas to pull it down, but I'm just going to kind of type it in here with what I was looking for. So here I'm looking for the average of X, or average of right hand. Then I'm going to want the average of the left hand. Then I was looking for the standard deviation of the right hand. standard deviation on the left hand. Then what was it else we were looking for? Oh yeah, the correlation coefficient. Two R's, one L, R-E-L-A-K-I-N. And then eventually what we're going to pull down from, with what we're doing here on the online stuff is the scatter plot. I was looking for our slope and the intercept. We'll just call it intercept. I was looking for the A value, intercept, and then the equation. So just call it regression line. So that's what I was looking for. So I just column just a little bit so I'm not cutting anything off. Okay, so again, using the formulas, we come up to insert. Pretty quick, I think everybody kind of understands this. Insert function. I'm just going to pick this average here because that's what it is. It pops up there easily. And then the column I'm looking for is column B. So I have the B highlighted, so that's what I want there. So just hit enter now. There's my average for my right hand. Do the same thing for the left hand. Function, average, column C, enter. So there's my average for my left hand. With the data that I had, what I'm calling right and left. Standard deviation on my right hand, again, insert function. Now we have to go down to the statistical functions because it doesn't pop up. It's not one of the common ones that everybody uses, so it lists under statistical. And it's the stdev one, I believe it's called when I look at it. Yes, stdev. So we're just going to use the first one because they kind of go through with this is what the data is, then you have population of the whole population, and then standard deviation.s is kind of similar to this one. It's just a little bit different formula, the way we kind of look at it. So I just want to use standard dev here. Whoops, went away. Sorry about that. So standard dev, and it takes two values. So the first value is going to be column B, and then you're going to put in a comma. And then your second value, I'm sorry, that's not right. My bad. It's column B because those are all the values. If you just had like fields, you could have kind of gone through and selected field after field. To do it, I'll show you when we do the standard deviation on the left. So if I do the same thing on the left, what we could do is maybe I was only looking for the standard deviation for two different fields. You click a field and then click another field. So now I have the two fields. So that's standard deviation for those two fields based on the average and stuff. And then we could add a third and a fourth, or you can select them all. What we're looking to do though is where it's the whole column, you can just select the column and it automatically assumes it's all the columns there. Correlation coefficient, again, there's a function for the correlation coefficient inside the column fields. So again, statistical, go all the way back up to correlations. So we want the core L. That's just a version of it. That's the one we're going to use. That's the most common version. Now here we need the X and Y data. It wants Y data first. So this is our dependent variable. So we're going to make that C. Then you hit the comma and then you select the X variable, which was our right hand. So then we select the B column. We hit enter and we have our correlation coefficient based on our two data variables. Now for the slope, the intercept, and the regression line, what I need to do now is select my two columns and I have to insert my chart. And this is where you're going back to the scatter plot. So it popped up as a line. I don't want a line. I got to find the scatter plot. So I click the chart type, scroll down to our scatter, and why is this not popping up the right way? It's not quite adding up there. That's what I do. Let's make that the x-axis to the right. That work? sorry. I'm trying to think this through. Let me try this again. Let me delete this. Something's not working right. What happened here? What if I do it control? Do it that way. We'll control it and see how it works. It didn't come out right. So again, we're turning a chart. I want a scatter plot. If for some reason it's not doing the left and right together, there should just be one dot for each value. And I don't know why this is happening right now. I'm going to try it this way. I'm all confused right now. Welcome to Friday the 13th, I guess. Insert chart. Let's see how this is going to work for me. Nope, that's a line chart. I do not understand why my chart's not working. All right, again, bear with me for a minute here when I try to figure this out. Let's just select this data. Maybe if I just do it this way. I'm all confused here. It's been working before with no problems asked up until this point. This looks like it might be what I'm looking for. There we go. So that's what it is. I don't do the columns. I'm sorry. My mistake. I just selected the data rather than the full column. So now I have my scatter plot. Everything kind of fills in there. I'm also going to customize because I want to add the trend analysis line. So I come down to the series data on the customize, scroll down to my trend line. I want the trend line to appear. I'm going to change color. Let's make it red. And then I want to label it. I want to label it with the equation. So use the equation. And that's where I want it to be. So that's good. So now I can hit close here. And I'm going to slide my thing down because we want to fill in the data on the columns that I had. Let's redelete this column. I'll make my chart a little smaller so it fits better. So now we see when I was looking for the slope of my regression line, the slope is the value in front of my x. So that's just going to be 0.037. 0.307. The intercept is the number after the plus, obviously, so it's plus 91. So 91.3 is my intercept. Okay. The equation of the regression line is just what we see there, so we can do it 0.03 x plus 91.3. And I'm good with that's what I'm looking for. If you want to put the y in front of it, that's even better because it is y equals, so to make it official. That's what I'm looking for on those charts and the tabs in your other spreadsheets. What I recommend too, looking at all the data from yesterday as well, is when we looked at your the 5 best scores for your reaction time, then I would put those values into another spreadsheet on the spreadsheet file and do this analysis for that with the define the averages for your right hand, the averages for your left hand, your standard deviations to kind of match up and see if the values that you did by hand are matching up to the values that the spreadsheet calculated. They should be very similar. There'll be rounding issues if you did everything correctly. If not, then there'll be some issues, be off a little bit. But everything should be good that way. And then, what was the one thing I was thinking of? I just thought of for a minute. It was brought to my attention late in the day yesterday that maybe the equation for the standard deviation might not have been quite accurate, and I just want to double check it to make sure that I did have the right value up there for the equation. Again, I wouldn't put it past myself to have entered the wrong thing. And it appears that yes, I actually did. In the standard deviation equation that I had on the Peridec file, I was dividing by n, and it should have been dividing by n minus 1. So again, I apologize. That is my fault. So if you can kind of rerun your data, you should have all your data spread out, looked at, so it should be easy to fix. Hopefully you did everything correctly and you saved it all. So that once you kind of fixed that, you added up all those standard deviation values before you took the square root. Divide by 4 rather than 5. And that'll give you a standard deviation that'll be different, and then that should match up a lot better to your the data in the spreadsheet when you plug all your top 5 in that spreadsheet. So again, I apologize for that, having the wrong formula there. That was totally my bad when I was typing it out on the PDF, on the Peridec thing. If I did do it as a negative, or just divide by 5. I can't fully recall off the top of my head, and I am not going to go up and look at it right now. So I should have been dividing by 4 rather than 5 on the top 5 numbers. And then where everything else is done through the spreadsheet, everything should be right there. So double check that work. It'll recalculate your correlation coefficient, which is unfortunate. But again, it's only 10 numbers you have to calculate. And then it'll change your hand calculated slope. But everything should work out well there. And like I said, we're going to run everything through the spreadsheets to make sure it all worked out anyway, so you can match up your work and see how you did. And then pass that in for later today. I'm actually going to go out and change the due time on that, so you can pass that in the end of class today. But I don't think it should take you all that long. Fix up what you missed. If you get it done early enough in class time, I have nothing else for you today, and then just kind of start preparing, getting ready for the test again. And have a good weekend, and I will see you all on Monday.